Welcome back, ladies and gents, to the Behind the Brand podcast. My name is Curtis and I am the host, and it's an absolute pleasure to be back here doing the podcast with a brand new look to the studio. I hope you're all liking it at home. It's taken a while to get started, but we've finally got there, and there'll be bits to change and stuff like that in the future, but hey ho, it is what it is now, and I really like it, and hopefully you guys do too. But today we have another brand new guest here with us in the studio. We have the fabulous Amanda from the Butterfly Room. How are you?
Hi, nice to be here, and I'm happy to kind of get to christen the new studio setup.
There you go. You're the first person in. You're getting
I know, I'm honoured.
It's like the test track. You're actually getting to test it out for me as well.
I'm honoured.
I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. So Amanda, what we tend to do here is we obviously like to get the guest to introduce themselves and find out a wee bit more about them as such. I mean, you could literally go on and waffle as much as you want, and you were telling me you're a good waffler, so you can do as much as you want there. So do you want to even give me a wee introduction and the guys that are listening and watching?
So they call it the elevator pitch, don't they? So it's like, so basically I'm a wellbeing and creativity coach. Fancy catch-all title for everything, and covers from meditation, mindfulness, therapeutic creativity, some work with essential oils and stuff like that, which I know you've enjoyed before, through to things like angel cards, crystal therapy, whole load of things that all came out of my own health journey. I was initially diagnosed with fibromyalgia back in 2009. I learned to live with that and how to manage that. There came things that kind of I found helpful that aren't always accessible or affordable for people. So then my passion came wanting to share that stuff with other people, put it out there and make it affordable for people and easy for people to access. And that led to the Butterfly Room coming on 4.5 years ago now.
Wow, that's incredible. So you're proper into the business now as such, you know what I mean? You're kind of getting to that, everybody says once you get past that kind of 5-year mark and stuff like that. And have you regretted, or are you enjoying everything that's going on at the minute with the business?
Oh, absolutely enjoyed it. I've never regretted any of it. I've been really lucky, you know, I've kind of connected with some lovely people, had some lovely experiences, and everything, I'm sure you'll appreciate, you'll agree yourself, everything's a learning experience.
It is, yes. Well, I mean, I started this studio with a table set up, and what I thought was just one of those ones where I was like, everybody will love this is great, this is what a podcast should look like. And I'm like, oh, maybe it's not. And then I put out a nice wee poll on Instagram, Facebook, power of social media, and here we are now. We've got brand new chair set up, comfy chairs, you know what I mean? We could actually sit back, relax, get a nice table and things like that. We could actually see the logo and stuff. So yeah, every day is a learning. Well, everything is a learning curve, definitely. So you were talking about your condition there as such. So that is what's it called? Sorry,
fibromyalgia.
So what actually is that?
It's
just because somebody might be listening and be like, well, listen, that it might relate to them, and that might be people who can identify what it is.
1 in 20 people in the UK suffer with it.
Oh wow!
So
didn't even know that.
It's more common than you would think. So it is a chronic pain condition. It's to do with the pain receptors in the brain. The easiest way to describe it is it's almost like if someone turned the pain receptors in your brain right the way up, then pulled the knob off.
Oh, right, okay.
So like if you bump yourself on the table, it might hurt for a couple of minutes. If I bump myself on the table, I'll bruise easier, and I could feel that pain for the next hour, whatever. There's also stuff with cognitive issues, which you might hear me kind of stammer over my words sometimes, or as happened when we came in, we had met before, and I thought I only knew your face from watching the podcast. I completely forgot we'd met somewhere else. So things like that, cognitive things, forgetting what you're going to say, that is one of the biggest ones for me. And actually for quite a while in my business, I didn't do stuff like this. Because
we were talking about that off camera, and you'd said that you've did one before, but you obviously didn't realise what you were kind of going into. Yeah. Whereas hopefully now you should. You know what I mean?
So it was that thing of like, but for me now it's actually more important. I might not seem as polished and professional when I'm putting myself out there, but it's authentic. And as you say, people might relate, people can see, oh, that's not just me.
Yeah. So, well, 100%. Yeah. It spreads the awareness of it as well, which
absolutely.
is amazing. And the fact that you're talking about it, and I think as well, it puts a platform out there for it as well.
I mean, I usually find when I'm putting stuff out, and I'm quite keen to put stuff out as well, because like I do some volunteering when I can, and I've done some fundraising for the National Fibromyalgia Charity, FMA UK, who are actually based in Paisley.
Oh, brilliant.
So I've done some stuff for them. I did a zip slide over the Clyde last year.
Oh, amazing.
And I don't like heights.
No, I'm all right with heights, to be fair. It's more the zipping across sipping across the Clyde.
Yeah.
That might be a wee bit...
I don't do heights and I don't do thrill rides, so it was one of those ones. It was only because it was for the charity, and I ended up actually, I absolutely loved it.
We'll shout out to the charity.
Yeah.
There you go. You've got an amazing person like Amanda that's doing all this.
Oh, there's lots of amazing people that have done fundraising, and the office staff are amazing. You do work really, really hard. It's a small national charity, but such a small staff. They do amazing work. That's
amazing, and based directly in Paisley then. So even on the topic of that, let's even talk about where you're based as well at the minute. So you're based within Paisley yourself.
Yeah.
And it's in the Butterfly Room.
The Butterfly Room is based inside a fantastic creative hub called What If in Moss Street. So one of my good pals, Catherine McAteer, she's a textile artist and embroidery artist, and she was kind of finally, after kind of having had day job that she wasn't entirely fussy, was taking retirement from that, and wanted to further her creative stuff. So she had studio space, then the pandemic happened, and the studio space, the rules of like sharing space and stuff like that were so tight, she didn't know when she was going to be able to get back in, so she started exploring developing her own space.
Oh, okay.
She took over a space that kind of we'd met through communally, funnily enough, and she took it over and she said to me, do you want to move the Butterfly Room down here? And I'm like, that I can't afford town centre rents. I'd looked, the budget and being not for profit and all that, and she went, we can make it work, and we did. So moved in there just at the start of the pandemic, thinking that's fine, we've got a couple of weeks, I can help her with the decorating and bits and bobs, a couple of weeks to get sorted, and then we were open and closed sort of on and off for the best part of two and a bit years.
It's mental, that, and honestly it's crazy when you think about it, the amount of people that this has affected. The pandemic, it's just honestly, even from like, we've had guests in that have like clothing businesses and things like that, PTs and things like that. It literally has affected every single person, which is crazy to think. Maybe in one way better than another as such, and obviously it's given you time to then build up your kind of business as such. Obviously it put a delay to kind of start on it as such, as you say, with the stop-start and things, but it's got you now settled in a place that you can call
absolutely,
your own.
And actually the pandemic got me over my fear and my loathing of being on camera. Like, if you ever saw any of my Facebook lives pre the pandemic, it was literally 2 seconds of whatever event I was at, or whatever, really short thing. If I was out at a craft fair or an event or something, I'd be on, tell people where I was, what I was doing, and off. Then the pandemic kicked in. It's like, how am I going to stay connected with people? Oh, Facebook Lives, let's try that.
That's amazing, Amanda.
So started them at the start of the pandemic, and then it's like been broadcasting once a week on Facebook Live for 2 years.
Your confidence must be like through the roof though, like by doing that as such, and building up to it and getting like so much more comfortable with it. I think it's the comfortable thing. As I say, I do a stammer, I forget my words, I have to have notes, down. Like one of the things I do on a Wednesday night is I do like angel card readings for people, and so of course they all ask, is there coming on, can I get a card? Right, I've got to make a note and go down the names so I can make sure I don't miss anybody, because I won't store them up here. So things like that. But I just say to people, hang on, I'm making my list, slow down. It's again, it's the authenticity thing. Yeah, it's the authenticity thing. It's not, it's not
polished.
Yeah,
no,
and
absolutely not.
I think that's what people will relate to as well when it comes to you. People will relate to you rather than a robot as such.
Yeah, and especially the type of work I'm doing, because it is supporting people with their well-being. You want to, don't you see that you're walking the talk? Yes. There is nothing worse than people that are doing like coaching work and stuff like that, or wellbeing work, and it's all for books and it's all for courses. I think in anything where you're working with people, lived experience can make such a difference.
100%. So you technically kind of fall under a coach then? You do. Is that right? Yeah.
I suppose it's kind of, that was the title. It's just trying to find a title that encapsulates everything. So the coaching bit's in there. I see it more of like support, guidance, probably not a traditional coach.
Not a traditional counsellor either.
Yeah, no.
I would kind of fall under that bracket.
Yeah, no.
As well. Because it's interesting, obviously, I've had a first hand no pun intended, hand-to-hand experience, because you've did my hands, which was absolutely, honestly, it was so nice. So you actually came into my workplace, not this place, but my workplace, very kindly, volunteered your time as well. So well done you again, absolutely amazing. And you were so kind and so approachable as well, which was so nice. You made the experience amazing, because I would say that men getting their hands done is not really a typical thing, because it was a proper hand massage, oils and things like that. Now, I love a massage, but I've never had a hand massage. So when you think about that, I'm a wee bit sceptical of how it's going to be, how I'm going to be put at ease. But you were so kind, and you were so relaxing as such. You know what I mean? You gave me the time, the space that I needed as well to adjust to everything as well, and it was lovely. And one of the big things that I will say, it was your personality that really made it so much nicer as well, the experience. I think for like people listening, obviously they want to find out a wee bit more about what you do. So I think it'd be great to talk about the services and things that you do. Obviously, hand massaging and things is one thing, but let's dig a wee bit deeper in exactly what it is that you do.
So, as I say, everything came about through my own health journey and things that helped me. So it started with the first course I did was a pain management diploma, which was things like kind of looking at acceptance in your relationship with pain and stuff like that. So it was that, and then meditation and mindfulness, because that was one of the biggest things in my journey that helped me, and was doing mindfulness based cognitive behavioural therapy. And it's one of those ones at the very start of my journey with fibromyalgia. If someone had said to me, do this mindset stuff, do this mindfulness stuff, I would not have been receptive to it at all. And even when we get into it, it was when we started it, you know, it's like in mindfulness, one of the first things I actually do is a technique called the body scan. So I was at a place called the Centre for Integrative Care up in Glasgow. It's an NHS resource. It used to be the homeopathic hospital, and they renamed it because the homeopathy is like a tiny part of what they do. So I was an outpatient there. The mindfulness-based cognitive behavioural therapy was there. And I was there, as I say, pain management, wanting rid of my pain and wanting off the ridiculous amount of medication I was on, because it just wasn't working anyway. And it came from that. And one of the doctors up there, let's do this body scan. I was like, right, hang on. I already know I'm sore. I don't need to scan my body for that.
Yeah, I can already identify.
I was like, already know that, it's fine. She's what it is. She's through mindfulness and becoming aware, you're having a conversation with your body. You're kind of, okay, so you're sore, but why? What's that about? Have you been overdoing things? Is it stress? Is it? So I was like, okay, I'm prepared to listen. I'll give it a go. And it did. It shifted the stuff there, the mindset stuff I did there, shifted so much of kind of how I managed my condition. As I say, I'm not anti-medication. They just weren't working for me.
Yep. Which is the case for a lot of people.
Yeah. I think it's about a third. Well, they're changing the medications and stuff now, because long-term opiate medication, which is what I was on. I mean, I was on tramadol and still having to take other stuff and still being in pain.
That's
that's
a tough one. Yeah.
So that, as I say, the shift of, hang on, distracted myself now with that. So the shift of like coming on and managing it holistically, and then, as I say, them wanting to put that out there for other people, because realising a lot of the things cost so much money. I mean, you mentioned about me volunteering, getting into your work. I'll do stuff like that because charities don't have the funding to pay for stuff, or, I mean, I've done one-on-one sessions with people and been paid in tea and biscuits, because I would much rather make sure somebody got the support. I was really lucky. I had friends that could connect with me with support groups. I had family support to build up everything and to learn what I've learned that's helped me. Other people don't.
You're so kind, Amanda.
So that's why this, I wanted to put the stuff out there. So it's like the meditation stuff I teach, and then the angel side of it, which I know that spiritual side of it is not for everybody.
So what actually is the angel side? I was intrigued when you were saying about the angel cards and things, like how it actually works.
So I am a certified angel guide and a certified angel card reader. Angel cards are like tarot. It's a tool. So you'll have seen, so it's when you say that, it's like people go, angel cards, what's that? And you go, they're a bit like tarot. All right, I know what that. Everybody knows what tarot cards are. Angel cards for me, there's more of a niceness of the imagery, softness of the imagery. The energy that goes with it for me is a lot softer, and it was that side of things was really helpful for me as well in my journey. Really inspired by a guy called Kyle Gray, who's from down the road in Greenock actually.
Okay.
And following his work and doing his courses as well. And just found that really, and again, not want to badmouth MD's business plans and pricing range, but again, sometimes what people are charging for readings is like, ouch.
How do you make it affordable?
Yeah, and I know it's that kind of balance of, I mean, in terms of my affordability, if I had listened to the first business advice person I went to when I wanted to set up the meditation class, if I had listened to them, because it was like I wanted to do the meditation class for $5 and give people tea and biscuits at the break, and this woman was like, no, so I go to a yoga class and it's £12 and we don't get tea and biscuits. I'm like, that's nice. That's fine, thanks for that.
Class for yoga?
Yeah, I was like, this was a while ago, remember, we're going back about 5 years ago now.
before inflation.
Yeah, I know. And they're probably still not getting tea and biscuits. But I just went, no, that's fine. And I have now said it's actually a standing joke between my regulars at my meditation class and my pal Catherine, who I mentioned in all my pals. It's like, it is now a stubborn, doesn't matter how much things change and how much I put, cost of living and stuff means I have to maybe put my prices up a bit.
Of course, yeah.
For as long as ever, till the end of time, if I'm running a meditation class, that class will always be £5, just as a point.
That's amazing. Just to make a point.
Yeah.
So your classes and things like that, do you run them from the butterfly room?
Well, the butterfly room is kind of a room roughly about the same size as we're in at the moment. Okay. So What If has workshop space.
Oh, okay.
So I use the workshop space in there for things like meditation classes and workshops on all sorts of stuff. I run workshops on mindset stuff, therapeutic creativity. Sometimes it's stuff with the essential oils. It just varies from sort of month to month and things like that, what I'm offering. And I've gone completely where I was with that.
That's all right, take your time, you're absolutely fine. You've been giving us so much as well, Amanda. Yeah. Like, you've been giving us so much information. Even that
workshop space.
Yes. That's it. See, you got round there, that's it.
Oh dear. Do you know the bizarre thing about the brain stuff is I can retain the most useful. I've seen you meet quiz nights and you go, how is it I can't go to the shop and get like 2 things without a list, but I can remember random stuff. Like, I'm a big music fan, I love Wet 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 and Marty Pello. I can, like, entire back catalogue stuff is in my head, but as I say, shopping list or having a conversation and you'll just go, where did that bit go? I
would think that my other half would probably say the same about me as well, to be fair. Sometimes the information comes out and it goes in one ear and out the other. But listen, if you want the whole movie of Step Brothers, I'll happily quote that for you. That's absolutely fine. That's my wet, wet, wet. Yeah,
so as I say, so the workshop, plus I go out and do like community stuff I've been at your work.
Charity, yeah.
I do a lot of stuff with Renfrewshire Carers.
Oh, okay,
which has been good.
Just down the road, yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing stuff with them kind of probably as long as I've been in business, again, just making sessions for them affordable, but things like, it's been like the art stuff and the creative stuff, and now it tends to be more, again, tapping into the essential oil stuff and going and doing sessions with that as well, not treatments but showing people how to make products and things like that as well.
Right, okay. Honestly, it was just when you came into the workplace with us and the veterans and things like that, it was such an amazing experience as well. And it was one of those ones where it didn't just feel like it just flew by as well. It was so nice. You just had everything so, like, considering the space that you had to use, you just totally made it your own, which was amazing. Like, I actually felt like I was in your own workshop. It was incredible. I think it's one of those ones for me. I'll always say to people, with any of the wellbeing stuff, you want it to be accessible. You know, it's like, if you can go on like a retreat somewhere, lovely. If you can go and, do a meditation surrounded by incense and candles and all the rest of it, great. If you can go for a massage, fine. But realistically, the way things are now, people are looking to fit this stuff in to maybe their work day or to the 5 minutes they've got in between picking the kids up for the school run and making dinner, or, for finishing work and going on to sometimes a second job or, whatever. So for me, it's about, with the accessibility, it's about going, okay, if you haven't got an hour, give yourself 5 minutes. Give yourself 1 2-minute cup of tea where you're just drinking the cup of tea. You're not scrolling on your phone or thinking about the next thing you've got to do. Or, so it's making it kind of more kind of manageable.
Practical, manageable.
Yeah,
I mean,
time management, it's such a big thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked about it with a couple of guests and things like that here, especially like Gemma, who is a social media manager and things like that, how you manage your time and things like that as well. So it's such a massive, important part of your day. And if you're not taking care of yourself, then everything else will fall behind as well. And this is when this kind of stuff comes into play. Exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, because I genuinely think part of the fibromyalgia was I used to be a care assistant. I worked in a care home and I absolutely loved my work. Loved it so much I worked on for 2 years after I was diagnosed.
Right, okay.
Doing overtime and, you know, somebody phoned in sick. Yeah, I'll do the night shift. If somebody runs me home till I get my medication, I'll come back in and do the night shift as well. And it made perfect sense at the time. But looking back now, I can see, having done the mindset work and being more okay with boundaries and self-care and understanding the importance of, if you look after yourself first, you can do more for other people. You can do more in the long run. I just now look back and go, what the...
Believe me, you can swear if you want to. It's an adult program. You're such a saint as well. I couldn't even imagine you swearing, to be fair. I don't think that's been part of your vocabulary. So obviously we were talking about like your services and things.
Yep.
So obviously the wellbeing side of things. Your kind of massage sort of.
It's hand treatments rather, because it's that thing of like not being a full-on massage therapist.
Yeah.
So you know, and giving people credit. I mean, massage therapists give them credit. They've done their training and all the rest of it. I am in ways of, because the pandemic was kicking in, you're looking for other ways, things you can bring into your business to keep it going. So it's like one of these MLM marketing things, you know, like the kind of multi-level marketing thing. It's Neil's Yard.
Okay.
That I do. Oh, they're fantastic. I mean, they're ethically sourced and fair trade products and all the rest of it. Because I did an essential oils course that told you how to make your own oils, and it was like, there's a whole module on how to do all this stuff like steam distilling and pressing oils and all the rest of it. And, you know, you need like 4 kilograms to make like 10 ml bottle of lavender oil and stuff like that. Yeah, that's practical. Excuse me, but I just knock my neighbours house down and build a garden. You know, so it's like...
you hope you don't get a few phone calls there saying, she's growing something from that garden.
Yeah, exactly. Especially Paisley.
Wouldn't be the first time.
So... The hand treatments and the sessions I mentioned doing with the care centre with the essential oils as well come from stuff through them. So it's kind of but it gave me other stuff that I can bring in to the business. And again, that's products that are a little bit more expensive, but I always let people wait till there's a sale, or, you know, here's this way to use that. So it's like it's no costing you as much.
That's amazing, honestly. I feel like you're like this. You are technically like a coach. Because you're coaching people,
I suppose,
and how they can support themselves as well, and obviously still use you as well at the end of the day.
Well, that's the thing I've always said. Like, if somebody comes to me once and they learn what they need to learn, I'm fine with that.
Yep.
You know, just make sure they tell the next person or whatever. And
you're like a saint. You're like a genuine saint.
No.
I'd love to just know as well, like, because I'd imagine you meet so many people and you do so much as well. And I imagine you probably do even more than what you're leaning us on as well. I imagine you do so much more. Because I've seen your posts and things like that. You're very busy in your own right. So doing all these jobs, meeting all these people. What's your favourite thing about the whole business itself? See,
this is the one I kind of prepped for. I was thinking about this today because I thought, what am I likely to get asked? And that one, do you know, for me, it's the variety. It's the fact that, I mean, from Friday to today. Friday morning, I was at the carer centre. Friday afternoon and Saturday during the day, I was running a wellbeing fair in the art department, the old co-op in the Paisley Centre.
Yes,
so I had an event on in there. That was the 3rd wellbeing fair I've run this year.
So this is now open, the co-op?
It's now turned into a venue, the old co-op in the Paisley Centre. Yes. So they've got 2 floors and Pace use the top floor, but it's now turned into a place called the art department.
All right, okay.
So they run, the space is hireable, because as I say, I've now hired it for 3 fairs this year. It was meant to be one last February. I did one in February, and it was like, right, that's my usual one for the year, is the February one.
Yep.
And then Small Shot Day was coming up, and Stephen, who runs the art department, had said the council are looking for somebody to do the Small Shot Day fair would you be interested? And I'm like, that. I really didn't know, because I'm trying to balance my health and make sure I don't take on too much. So I really don't want to be doing another one. But Small Shot Day is such a big date in the Paisley calendar.
Massive day in Paisley.
To get the kind of, not the recognition, but the tie-in with people seeing me want to serve the community on that occasion, it was like, right, well, I can't say no to that. And then done that one, I thought, well, I may as well do the Christmas one now. So that was it. So that was Saturday.
I like how it led from the 1 to the 2 to the 3. I like that.
Oh, it always does. It's like, it goes to like, even the February stuff I'm talking about. Feel Good February started as a wellbeing weekend, which was like a Saturday and a Sunday. And then just before the pandemic, it was supposed to be, right, let's do Friday, Saturday and Sunday. And the pandemic kicked in. And of course, I had all that time to think about it. And by the time we came back to do it, it was a month-long festival, and I'd booked one of my favourite singers to come and do a gig.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. Anybody we know?
So a lady called Philippa Hannah. She's a Christian act.
Okay.
I discovered her, she supported Wet 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 at the Hydro years ago, so there's always a connection in there somewhere.
It always goes back to Mark Kello, who I believe is coming back to the Hydro in 2024.
And I've got tickets.
Oh, amazing.
It's like, I would
you got them personally off him?
Oh, no. I know, I keep trying to put in the CV for the wellbeing coach gig there, but he's not having it yet. I think the restraining order's getting in the way.
Please do not be within so many feet. Oh, brilliant. That is absolutely amazing, Amanda.
But so booked her. February just gone, I'd booked a guy called David Hamilton, whose work I really admire as well. He does a lot of stuff about kind of the mind-body connection and stuff like that. Because it's now like thinking about, well, people can always say no.
Yeah.
It's funny, like being based in what if, Catherine says it's that turnaround of what if, I think everybody thinks a what if has been a bad thing. I said, well,
but the positive side of it as well.
So it's like that, and that's a good thing as well, as having that to kind of tap into. So as I say, it's the variety of things for me. Going back to your question about kind of what I like the most, it's the variety. It's, as I say, the fact it's like carer centre, wellbeing fair, day off yesterday, and then I'm talking to yourself tonight.
Amazing. So you literally are doing a wee bit of everything.
Yeah, it is. There is this little bit of everything, so it keeps it interesting. It keeps it paced out. It keeps it, there's so many different ways that I can share what I do and connect with people, and because that's what it's about, the connecting. Because if people connect with me, then they're more likely to want to work with me, or even just we sharing the fibromyalgia stuff.
Yes,
it's then hearing the story and giving the people seeing what they can do as well.
Yeah, 100%. I genuinely can't thank you enough for obviously coming along.
That's been great. For
the session, it's been absolutely amazing hearing your story and hearing everything that you do as well. And I believe there's so much more to what you do as well. And I think for us, the perfect thing would be to find out like your socials and things like that, so people can obviously keep up to date with who you are, what you do, and where you'll next be. And obviously, if you're running any, I don't know, classes, workshops within What If, and even the Butterfly Room to even find out more. So. Sorry,
socials. So the easiest way, I would say to people, the easiest way is just Google the Butterfly Room Paisley, because there's because I'm now like, from having not been too keen on like camera stuff and putting myself out there, it is like literally I am on every social media, even probably the ones I'm too old to be on, like TikTok and stuff like that.
I'm never too old. Age is nothing but a number. We've discussed this with Paul from the Mill magazine. Yeah. You know what I mean? Everybody loved Paul, and he was saying that he was talking about how he was like 45 or whatever, sorry, wage. I hope I've just offended you, Paul, there by saying you're 45. I hope you're younger than that. You look younger than that. But he was saying that, and we were talking about how age is literally just a number.
Yeah.
The only way your business is going to grow is if you put yourself forward on all these platforms as well, because there is an audience out there for what you do. Don't get me wrong, like, as I say, a young male, hand, massage therapy sort of stuff, I'd have been like, no chance. But I loved it. And I would highly recommend it to everybody. I've had the experience. I know what, from yourself as well, even better. So I know exactly what to expect. And I would be saying to people, like, this is a great service that I highly recommend. Whether you think you're manly or not, your hands still need care.
And even just self-care for guys, because I think especially the whole west of Scotland, stereotypical, big boys don't cry, don't talk, there's so much, mental health. Before the pandemic, there was people were having mental health crises and services were struggling. So again, it's like about encouraging people to, that whole thing of like me sharing my story and sharing like the struggles I've had. It's that thing of like, the thing of it's okay not to be okay. Talk about this stuff, look after your well-being. Self-care isn't selfish.
It's not. That's the whole point of it. It's self-care. You know what I mean? You need to, and I'm so glad you've said that, and thanks so much for obviously saying that as well. Because somebody might listen to this, might have needed that today. You've been an absolute superstar and an absolute gem. And I'm so delighted that you were able to come along to the studio as well.
Delighted to be here.
And I'm so glad you were the first person to get to use the studio and be part of the whole new setup as well. Couldn't have asked for a better guest. Really love that. Honestly, your story's amazing. What you do is amazing, and your message is amazing. And I highly recommend people check you out. You were talking. Sorry, there. I think we didn't even clarify what your socials were.
Oh yeah, so I went off.
So even just to clarify that before we finish up. I know
so
you don't really waffle a lot, nah.
Speciality. If I could get a certificate in that, I'd be fine. So basically the easiest way is just Google the butterfly around Paisley. The same for what if you search for there, because Catherine's got some amazing stuff going on. And so there's a lot of kind of the makers, because there's a shop space in there. A lot of the makers sell through the shop, run workshops as well. So there's all sorts of stuff happening between the two of us. My next big thing, which you'll find about on all the socials that I've got, is Feel Good February, which will be February next year when my book comes out.
Your book?
Yeah.
You got a book?
I am still writing it as we speak.
Right, okay. So you've got a couple of months then?
Yes.
You feeling the pressure?
Nope. Because I've been working on it for 6 years. It's time to get my act together now.
Oh, amazing.
So that's the next chapter of the stories of that.
Oh, you'll need to give us a shout then. As soon as it releases, let us know. Obviously this podcast will come out beforehand, so let me know, and we'll get it, obviously try and get it promoted for you as well. That's absolutely amazing. I'll need to get a copy and get it nice on the table. This table and space is needing some books as well, so we'll definitely need some of that. But listen, thank you so much, Amanda, for coming on.
No, thank you for having me in. It's been brilliant.
Just incredible. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I really hope that everybody listening to this has enjoyed it, and hopefully they've taken a message from it and feel inspired by Amanda's words, and obviously Amanda's condition as well. So please don't feel like nobody's listening. If you think you suffer from the same things, I mean, would you contact the GP? Is that who you'd recommend?
You can, but also I mentioned Fibromyalgia Action UK. Again, look for them. They've got online support. You can access information from them, but there's on Facebook, there is an online 24/7 support group as well, and there's local support groups in Paisley and all over the UK as well. So
amazing. Thanks so much for doing that as well. And there you go, folks. That's who to contact if you feel like that is something that you suffer with. But for now, thank you so much for listening. If you're watching on YouTube or you're listening on Spotify, we do have subscribe and follow buttons, which again helps the channel, helps the businesses like Amanda's get out there. You can leave a like, even a comment to let us know if this is something that you think you would obviously benefit from and you would love to have, or you think you should recommend it to a charity. Let us know down below in the comments. But we'll be back. Behind the Brand, we'll be back, and hopefully you've enjoyed yourself. Thanks very much, and take care. Cheers.